Hey everyone, Matt Sussman here. I'm going to show you how to use Azure Active Directory conditional access in Microsoft Cloud App Security to block access to Slack from non-corporate machines and devices. So if I'm using a personal computer or a personal device, I'm not going to be able to access Slack. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, so here we are inside the Azure portal on the Azure Active Directory blade. And in here, I'm going to pull up Slack under Enterprise Applications. Now, for this to work, you have to add Slack as an enterprise application and configure single sign-on like I've already done. And please check out my video for instructions on how to do that. And then once I do that, I'm going to come down here to conditional access and create a conditional access policy for Slack. And for demo purposes here, I have it scoped to a single user. I have it scoped to just the Slack app that we added previously. And then no conditions. Under grant, we're just going to grant access. And under session, we're going to tell it to use conditional access app control and use custom policy. And then we're going to enable this and turn on. Now, once I do that, I'm going to go into Microsoft Cloud App Security, Microsoft's CASB product, and create a new access policy. And that access policy is going to have some filters set. First, it's going to be set to Slack as the app. For the client app, we have mobile, desktop, and browser set. And then for device tag, we have it does not equal compliant, domain join, and valid client certificate. So let me walk you through this. What this is doing is that anytime somebody tries to use Slack, the mobile, desktop, and browser versions of Slack, and they try to access Slack from a personal device that's not managed, it's going to block access with a customized message, and then it's going to create an alert. And from there, it'll be blocked. Now, I could send it to Power Automate. We'll do that in another video. Now, if I go into Activity Log, here I can see all the activity from the flight data recorder, if you will. And here is Slack, and we can see that Megan Bowen, her access has been blocked. And I can see some telemetry here around her access and what's happening. I can even click on IP address, and I can see where she's logging in from. Does that IP correspond to any other alerts? And then from there, I can also drill into the user and see is there anything happening with her user account. And if I go to alerts, here is the alert for where access to Slack was blocked on that personal device. Okay, so let's switch over to my iPad and let's see what this looks like on a personal iPad. Okay, here we are on my personal iPad. Now, I am sharing this through a meeting in Microsoft Teams. So I'm just going to make this full screen so we could see what we're working with here. So I've gone ahead and installed Slack on my personal iPad, and there it is. So let's tap the Slack app, and it's going to ask me to sign in. So we'll tap sign in down at the bottom, and then I'll choose I'll sign in manually button. And then from here, we're going to type in the workspace URL, sussman.slack.com, click go. And then it's going to ask me to sign in with Azure Active Directory, so we'll do that. Do you want to continue? Yes. It's going to launch the mini browser, and it's going to ask me to sign in. So let's go ahead and type in our sign-in address here, our username. And then we'll tap next, and it's going to ask me to type in my password, so we'll do that. And then, no, we don't want to remember credentials. I mean, we could, but it doesn't really matter. And then, boom, access is blocked. So there's the policy in Cloud App Security, and you can see access to Slack is blocked by your organization's security policy. Access to Slack on personal devices is prohibited per corporate policy, et cetera, et cetera. At this point, I can't use Slack on my personal iPad. So what does that look like on my personal Mac, using both the web browser and the desktop app? Let's take a look at that. Okay, so we're on my personal Mac, and I've installed the desktop client for Slack here, and we're going to attempt to sign in. So let's click on sign in. It's going to open up a web browser here and ask me to sign in type in my workspace URL. So let's do that, sussman.slack.com. Click continue. Okay, do you want to sign in with Azure Active Directory? Yes, I do. And then at this point, boom, access is blocked, just like we saw on the iPad. Access to Slack on personal devices is prohibited per corporate policy. And so I can keep tapping sign in here in the app, but it's going to keep forcing me to sign in here in the web browser, and it's still going to keep blocking me. So there's no way for me to access Slack on the desktop client. Now you're probably wondering, what about the web browser version? Well, let's try that. So let's open up a new and private tab here. Let's go to sosman.slack.com. And it's going to ask us to sign in with Azure Active Directory, which redirects us to our Azure Active Directory website. And I'm going to type my work email address here, type my password. And you can ignore the certificate there. That's just my lab. And then we'll stay signed in, sure, why not? And then at this point, boom, access to Slack is blocked. And we'll zoom in there so you can see what that looks like. Okay, folks, well, I hope you found this video helpful. I hope you found it valuable. This was all about how to prevent access to Slack on a personal device, meaning you have to be on a corporate managed device, whether it's a corporate managed Mac or Windows computer or iPad or Android device to be able to access Slack. All right, well, hey, we'll see you in the next video. By all means, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay safe. We'll see you.